Hello everybody and welcome back to Odin's movie blog. I am the critic who is a cynic. Hope we're doing well. And today I don't really have that much to talk about. There has been some recent news regarding the pushing back of various Marvel titles. We now have Black Widow, which is set to come out November 6th, around sometime in November, to push back now Eternals to the next year. We also have Mulan coming out over the summer. Presumably, of course, coming out over the summer, while another Disney film called Artemis Fowl, which I projected was probably going to end up being a box office flop anyway, Disney has, in my opinion, wisely decided to move that to the Disney Plus streaming service. So those are just some of the few updates that are going on right now in the movie world. Obviously, I know that there's some people out there that are excited for films like Black Widow. Another film, Jungle Cruise, actually got pushed back till next year, so not until 2021 as well. But with all that being said, since I'm talking about Disney, I actually decided to do a review for the main channel today. I tend to keep my reviews over on the Welcome to Asgard channel, but since the main channel has been going through a weird position recently, because even though I'm covering a lot of the same topics that I normally do, the YouTube algorithm's just crapping all over everything that I do. So I figured, to all the people out there that support the videos, that like the videos and watch them daily, I would give y'all a little bit of a movie review, seeing that this is still a movie blog, allegedly, of course. So last night I was able to watch for the first time, since it's been recommended, a movie called Klaus, as I like to call it, or simply Klaus. So it's a Christmas movie, Netflix film that came out last year. It actually ended up getting nominated for Best Animated Feature at the Oscars and lost to Toy Story 4. Now, after having watched this film finally, what in the hell were those Academy members thinking? Toy Story 4, for lack of a better term, was crap as far as the story elements go. I have a lot of issues with Toy Story 4. If you want to hear my entire opinion on Toy Story 4, I've done a review of Toy Story 4 previously, so I just want to get that out of the way, though. Klaus, on the other hand, is a brilliant film. And it's very rare that you hear me say that. You know, I'm always a cynical person whenever I watch a lot of movies. A lot of the movies that Bruce has sent me recently that I still need to do reviews on for the Welcome to Asgard channel, I gave, relatively poor grades to, not because they're bad movies, just because they just didn't really match well with the type of films that I tend to like. But this film, on the other hand, was great from start to finish. What I love about it mostly, though, is that it's a family movie. It's a movie that can reach out to whoever you are in a family unit. It is not just meant for kids, and it does not just go towards that lowest common denominator. It also appeals to teens. It can appeal to adults, too. There were several points in the movie where I was laughing, because there's this dark, edgy humor that's in there that's going to go over the heads of a lot of kids, but that adults will be able to very much appreciate. There's a heart to this movie as well, especially the more you find out about the characters, and also it's a very original story. You think you know the story of Santa Claus, St. Christopher, right? That you could take it from a faith-based perspective or a legend-based perspective. And what this does is that it takes the legend perspective, but then it changes it. It wraps a story around this character and explains where he came from and why he exists and how all of these things developed. And then the ending to the movie is just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. In fact, when the movie ended, I just wrote "beautiful ending," because I was just so touched by it, because you go on this journey with these two characters. So the main storyline, just to give kind of a basic skeleton, because I really don't want to go into too much more detail about it, is that this younger man who's lazy, who's privileged his entire life, gets sent to be the postman in this far-off country where there is no mail, where there is, there's this huge fight going on between these two different family sides. Everything's split apart. Every day they go after each other, and there's a bell in the middle of town, and every time it rings, they literally fight each other. So that, of course, causes a lot of comedy and some dark comedy humor elements as well. And that's where he's sent to. And he said, okay, if you can make 6,000 letters happen, then you will be able to come back, welcome back with open arms, and you'll be able to get the money from the family inheritance. And so that's what motivates the character at first. And then eventually they introduce you to the character of Klaus. And then his origins are different than what you would expect. It's not based off of the St. Christopher, or not the St. Christopher, sorry, the St. Nicholas. If I said St. Christopher earlier, I'm sorry. But I meant the St. Nicholas character. And so it's really cool how it handles that dynamic between them. And so just some of the things that I wrote down. Firstly, beautiful animation. The animation on this thing is just fantastic. Especially when we live in a world where we're so used to the Toy Story animation, the DreamWorks style animation. It's nice to have something fresh that is still obviously, a 3D scale animation styling, but also unique in its own way. So the animation style is beautiful. The voice acting is fantastic. Even though this is a film that many people have not seen, if you look up the voice acting list for the movie, it's incredible. They were able to get some very high-profile actors to do some of the voices, and all of them do an excellent job with it. There's a great score underlying the film as well. The sound design, how the voices sound, how all the background things, when you see something happen on screen, it makes a sound that makes sense. It's not completely cartoonish, which I love. There's dark comedy, but it's also a great balance as well. As I said, it's a good family dynamic because it has something for everyone in the entire family. It's an original take on the origins of Christmas without faith, and that's, I guess, if I had to have one criticism of it, is being a Catholic and knowing the origins of Christmas with St. Nicholas and everything that he did, I did kind of have an issue with that perspective, but because, again, it's a very, very minor one, but because it took it in a direction where it didn't crap on the original story, but instead went in the direction of, we're going to tell our own story. We're going to tell our own version of how this aspect of Christmas and gift getting and all these other things, writing letters, how all of this ties together. And I think it did so brilliantly that I'm able to very easily overlook that component to it, being the religious person that I am. I said it's a beautiful modern song in the film too, and this is, I guess, the only other issue that I might have other than the no faith aspect to it. This is one where it actually is not the first time that this has happened. So I recently watched Treasure Planet, which is also an excellent animation. I highly recommend everyone go see that. And in that movie, they also put a modern sounding song in the movie, and it kind of took me out of it for a second. This did the same thing, where all of a sudden there's this beautiful modern song in there with modern rhythms, beats, pop beat type thing. And it's very good. My only issue with it is that it's slightly out of place, but only slightly. It came to the point where I felt, okay, you know what, though? It kind of fits with what I'm seeing on screen. It kind of fits with the genre that this film is going for, and it's set during the specific time period where it might actually work out because you don't really know exactly what time in history this is, and it's great. It's great. So even with those couple of minor issues with it, it's a fantastic film. I give this film a solid A. And really the only reason why I'm not an A+ is because it's not a perfect film, but it's a damn good film. It's an A-worthy film. It's a film that everyone should go out of their way to see. It is still on Netflix right now. You can enjoy this film even though it is not currently Christmas time. And whether you're Catholic, whether you're Christian, whether you're atheist, agnostic, whatever you are, there is something in here to be enjoyed for everyone because it takes it from a human perspective instead of a spiritual or faith-based one, even though there's definitely a couple of elements in there that I think some people might actually appreciate. But those are my thoughts. Have you seen Klaus? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comments section below. If you like this video and want more videos like this on the main channel, smash that like button, hit that subscribe, and also leave a comment, especially on the pinned comment as well. And let me know the kind of stuff that you would like to see more of on the channel. Have a wonderful day, everybody, and as always, God bless. And now a huge shout out to my April Patreon and Subscribe Star members. We have animation commentator Brian P., Dion, Divex, Elizabeth M., Enrique Evangelista, Father Christopher Miller, Hail Father, Frank the Tank and the Shawhan Wiener Dog Clan, Harold Francis, The Hunker Chunky Funky Monkey, Inflamed Wood, Intertrap Productions, Jason Clark, Jeffrey Toon, JJ Jonathan Jerembeck, Kenneth Cameo, Lady T, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mike Jackson, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin with the beautiful hair, Orange Hat Reviews, Outpost Dyer, Perpetual Punster, Riff Magos, Rosetta Allen, Steve Glasker, Teresa Martin, Theodore Bendon, The DJD Show, and Tina B. And to my Subscribe Star members, Robert Revo, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, G2 Cool 99, Dark Star 57, J. Alex McCarthy Jr., US 888209 Fast, Dean Heiss, Harold Francis, J. Rod the Beer Guru, Nebanon G. Adams, and ZK Man. I'm going to go ahead and leave that blank spot just previously in case any more people decide to become a Patreon or Subscribe Star member over the next few days. Just remember that as soon as you sign up, you are immediately eligible for any of the benefits. If you just sign up at the $1 tier on Subscribe Star or Patreon, you get a shout out at the end of every single video, including my live streams. If you're a $5 or up backer on either platform, you get access to exclusive giveaways where I give away several 4K Blu-rays, digital copies every single month as well. If you jump up to the $10 tier on either platform, you get access to all of that, plus you get access to an exclusive podcast that I do with my friend John the Flick Pick of John Flickinger and the Flick Pick fame. We do a bi-weekly podcast, so every 2 weeks or so we do one. So you get probably about 2 or 3 depending on what's going on, probably more so now with everything going on in the craziness of our world. But you do get access to that. Also, if you are at that $10 tier, it means that you get to take part in the Q&A part of that podcast. And so about 24 to 48 hours before the podcast, maybe even longer beforehand, I'll leave a post in the Patreon Subscribe Star. You'll be able to leave a comment on a question that you want us to answer, on a topic that you want us to cover in a future podcast as well. All of that you have access to. And if you're a $25 backer and up, you get all of those things. Plus, you get a t-shirt for your first month. That's right. You get a free t-shirt, high quality Odin's Movie Vlog t-shirt. So just make sure if you're at a $25 and up backer level, you leave your address. That way I know where to send that to. And also I will be messaging you to get your size information. That way I can send that out to you as quickly as possible. But you also get access to an exclusive Chosen of Valhalla live stream that we have once a month on this channel, where I invite you to be on the show. You can either show your face or not show your face, or hey, you don't have to show up at all. It's totally up to you. And we talk about a wide variety of things. We talk about movies that you've been watching, modern things going on, the pop culture, and pretty much anything that you yourself want to talk about. So if any of these things sound interesting to you and things that you'd want to do, please hit that Patreon Subscribe Star link in the description of this video and think about joining today. Have a wonderful day, everybody. And as always, God bless.